Superman and Lanterns might just be setting the stage for something fans have been waiting for, a proper Green Lantern Corps story that works way better than the one DC had planned years ago but never delivered. What's exciting is that both James Gunn's Superman movie and Chris Mundy's upcoming Lantern series are weaving together pieces that could lead us toward a fresh take on the cosmic side of DC. And the thing is, this setup already looks stronger than what the DCEU once had in mind. When you look at Gunn's Superman, it ends with the Man of Steel stepping more confidently into his role as the leader of the superhero world. Even though this world is jam-packed with other metahumans, Superman's status as the symbol of hope and strength isn't touched. It's almost like no matter how many heroes show up, Superman's place at the center of it all is secure. But Gunn didn't stop at just strengthening Superman. The movie teases and outright introduces a bunch of other heroes and big DC concepts. It even gives us a glimpse of Maxwell Lord's Justice Gang, bringing in characters like Hawkgirl, Mr. Terrific, and of course, Guy Gardner, who absolutely steals the spotlight whenever he's on screen. Now, this is where it gets interesting because the DCEU once had very different plans for the Green Lanterns. Back in the early days of the franchise, Green Lantern Corps was supposed to be one of the big projects. It was announced alongside other films like Cyborg and Ben Affleck's version of The Batman. Originally, this Green Lantern movie was meant to hit theaters in 2020, digging into the cosmic lore of the Lanterns and exploring their intergalactic duties as Guardians. DC even dropped a small tease during the Arrowverse's Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, which briefly showed Oa, the Lanterns' homeworld. But as most people know, the DCEU slate of projects constantly shifted. There were delays and creative changes, and the entire franchise felt like it was never really sure where it wanted to go. Because of all that, Green Lantern Corps got stuck in development hell. It was redeveloped a few times, then quietly pushed aside, and by the time the DCEU wrapped up, the movie was basically forgotten. Instead, the focus moved to James Gunn's new DCU, which is now slowly building toward introducing Green Lanterns in a much smarter way. That's where Superman and the Lanterns come in. Together, they open the door for a Green Lantern Corps story that feels a lot more natural and earned. In Superman, Nathan Fillion's Guy Gardner shows up, giving us a taste of what a lantern looks like in this new world. Meanwhile, Lanterns is set to dive deep into Aaron Pierre's John Stewart and Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan. These introductions give us three very different Green Lanterns right off the bat, which is a strong foundation for something bigger down the line. What makes this approach better than the DCEU's plan is the pacing. Instead of dropping an entire core movie all at once, Gunn's DCU is slowly building the team across multiple projects. Guy Gardner is already confirmed to appear again in Peacemaker Season 2, which means the franchise is treating the Lanterns as important players. Then, Lanterns will let us spend real time with Hal and John, following them through what's described as a detective-style murder mystery with cosmic stakes. And when you think about it, eventually putting these three Lanterns together for a major team-up movie could feel like an event on the level of a Justice League crossover. And it won't stop with just those three. Down the road, the DCU will probably introduce more fan-favorite Lanterns like Kyle Rayner, Jessica Cruz, and Simon Baz. The clever thing is that they don't all have to debut in one big ensemble. Some could appear in solo projects, others in cameos or team-up movies, slowly filling out the ranks. By the time a full-on Green Lantern Corps movie hits, audiences would already know and love several Lanterns, making it that much more epic. Now, Nathan Fillion has been giving some insight into his role as Guy Gardner, and his comments make it clear what fans can expect. After Superman boosted hype for the @DCU, Fillion confirmed he'll be back as Gardner not only in Lanterns, but also in Peacemaker Season 2. In an interview, he joked that everybody pretty much hates Guy Gardner and that Gardner doesn't really care. He described the character as defensive, someone with a big chip on his shoulder, basically the kind of guy who rubs everyone the wrong way but still manages to get the job done. For Fillion, who usually plays more traditional heroes, this is a fun change of pace. So what does this mean for Lanterns? Well, the show is mainly about Hal Jordan and John Stewart. The creators have described it as a true detective-style story with a cosmic twist, set partly in Nebraska. It's the classic veteran and rookie dynamic, with Hal as the more seasoned Lantern and John as the new recruit. They'll be investigating a mystery that has huge intergalactic implications. Adding Gardner into that mix as a supporting character is bound to stir things up, especially since he tends to clash with just about everyone. The dynamic could actually be hilarious, because even though Hal and John might have their own disagreements, they'll probably find some common ground in their annoyance at Gardner. And he's not going to lose any sleep over that. Fans of Young Justice might remember how both Hal and John immediately rejected the idea of Gardner joining the Justice League, and that same kind of banter could be perfect for this show. It keeps things light even when the stakes are high. But the real wild card in Lanterns is the villain, Sinestro. Fans have been waiting for a proper live-action version of him for years. He was played by Mark Strong in the 2011 Green Lantern movie, and while Strong gave a solid performance, the film itself didn't leave much of an impact. Since then, the character has been absent from live action for 14 years. Now, with Ulrich Thompson cast as Sinestro in the DCEU, we're finally getting another shot at exploring this fascinating villain. Sinestro is one of those characters who works best when his story is allowed to breathe. He started out as a Green Lantern himself, training Hal Jordan, but his thirst for power and control pushed him down a darker path. Eventually, he founded the Yellow Lantern Corps, wielding a ring fueled by fear. That sets him up as the ultimate opposite to the Green Lanterns, because while they represent willpower, he embodies fear and domination. The beauty of telling this story in a TV format is that it has room to go deep. The 2011 film tried to touch on Sinestro's arc, but didn't have time to fully explore it. With Lanterns, the writers can take several episodes, maybe even multiple seasons, to flesh out his complex relationship with Hal Jordan and his gradual fall from respected leader to dangerous enemy. It's the kind of slow-burn character study that works way better on television than in a single 2-hour film. Ulrich Thompson is a fascinating choice for the role too. He's a Danish actor with decades of experience in both European and American projects. Fans of Banshee will remember his performance as Kai Proctor, where he exuded this calm but intimidating presence. That quality is perfect for Sinestro, who needs to command attention with just his demeanor. Thompson has also played in The Blacklist and films like The Thing, so he's comfortable balancing TV and movie roles, which is exactly what DC might need if Sinestro shows up beyond Lanterns. The thing about Sinestro is that he's not just a villain who twirls his mustache, he's charismatic, persuasive, and even inspiring, which makes his eventual betrayal of the Green Lanterns feel all the more impactful. If done right, his arc could be one of the most compelling villain stories the DCU has ever told. Given Thompson's skill set, the long-form storytelling of Lanterns, and the rich source material from the comics, there's every reason to believe this version of Sinestro will surpass what came before. James Gunn's DCU is carefully building toward a stronger Green Lantern core story by introducing characters gradually instead of rushing into a big film like the DCEU once tried. Superman introduced Gardner, Lanterns will focus on Hal Jordan and John Stewart, and Sinestro is set for a major return. This slow, connected approach allows fans to bond with the heroes across different projects, making their eventual team-up far more impactful. With long-term planning and room for Sinestro to grow as a villain, the DCU sets the stage for a Green Lantern Corps movie that could feel truly epic. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.